All right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So let's get right into this video. I want to talk about how you're created to work for yourself, right? And I don't know who this video is for, but if you're watching this video is probably for you. But what I mean by you're made to work for yourself is that throughout your whole life, you could have had jobs, like multiple different jobs or whatever it is that you're doing to make a living. And you've always been the type of person that's doesn't like to feel constricted, right? Like you really don't like to feel constricted. Pretty much anyone in this planet does not like to feel constricted, but you have like an extra pain about it, right? Like for you it's like terrible. It's completely terrible. If you're doing something that you don't like you're at a job that you don't like, and like people tell you like what to do. They tell you like when you're gonna work, what time you're gonna leave, when you're gonna eat, and everything like that. And on top of all, you're doing something that you don't really even care about, that you don't even like you're forced to be doing it. Whenever you're in these situations, like you cannot tolerate it. And the reason you can't tolerate it is because you're specifically created to thrive by yourself. You're supposed to be a self-earner, right? Like self-employed, entrepreneur, something like that. If you're this type of person that like truly like hates to work for other people, and like I'm not saying like you could have a job and like you still can't do it, but if it like physically pains you to do so and it like makes you mad like all the time, you feel like constricted, you feel like you got to do something else, then you're supposed to be doing something else, right? You're just created for it. You're the type of person that's supposed to thrive, right? You're supposed to thrive on your own. You're supposed to thrive on being your own, boss, being your own leader, having your own thing, having freedom, right? Like you really care about your freedom. And things like jobs and all this stuff where other people are telling you what to do, it impedes on your freedom. It makes you feel like you have no freedom, right? And that's something that you hate. If you have any of these traits and you know you're supposed to work for yourself, you know you're supposed to create your own whatever it is, right? You probably already have like your own dream or like ambition that God put in your heart, whatever that dream is. But that's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. You're created like that on purpose, right? Because you're not supposed to be in these situations. You're not supposed to be employed if God has a purpose for your life that you need to do, right? This is why it's so hard for you, like harder compared to like other people to do these things. Like other people could tolerate these things and you can't for some reason, right? And not only just like tolerating it, but you could also just had trouble like even like getting a job, right? You could be qualified or more than qualified for a job and you still get rejected. You could maybe have had conflicts for like no reason in the workplace or whatever, just because you have the type of personality that's non-conforming, right? Like you think for yourself, you see when things are right, you see when things are wrong. And if you see like a better way to do something, like you'll want to do it, right? You're that type of person. But if you're at work, you're gonna always have to do something the way the higher ups are gonna want you to do it, right? And things like that. Because of that, this is why you're not made to be under the control of someone else. You're not made to be employed, pretty much. You're meant to be like your own. You're meant to create something, right? You're a creator, right? And the reason that God does these things is really it's all for His glory. He has a purpose for your life, and that purpose is the one you're gonna have to fulfill, right? And this purpose that you've had in your heart, you've probably like had glimpses of this ever since you were little, right? Like you've probably been interested in like a certain thing that you wanted to do, or you probably looked at it, and it wasn't just like a childhood dream thing. It was like a different type of vision. It's like something that like you kind of know that you're gonna do. It's like an inner knowing, right? But yeah, if you're watching this video and you resonate, then you know what you have to do, right? You know if you keep going to like jobs and things like that, it's not going to work out. You know if you keep going to things that are like outside of your vision, it's not going to work out. There's always going to be some type of problem, right, that comes up. Or like something's going to go wrong that's going to push you back into like what you're supposed to be doing, right? But the good thing is, every single thing that you go through, every single thing that it is, it's always led you to the purpose that you have, the vision that you have, right? It's always going to do that. If you sway from it, something's going to happen that brings you back into that thing, right? That's what you created to do. That's what's going to be done, right? Because it's from God. God's will be done, so. And God has been with you your whole life, right? Even for a lot of us, even before like you met Christ, right? Or if Christ came to you, because in the Bible it says he chose us, not the other way around, right? Even before you met Christ, you probably had glimpses ever since you were young too. You were just like naturally different, right? You didn't like conform. You had dreams, you had visions. You had like a really strong intuition, right? You're like the type of person that thinks outside the box. You have many different ideas. You were just naturally like curious about a lot of other things. You understood a lot of things that people didn't understand. You've been like this your whole life, right? But when you find Christ, you realize that it's because of him you're that way. This is how he made you, right? Glory be to God. That's how he made you. But just know, if anyone that's watching this video, and likely some of you are already in your purpose in a way, right? You're probably already doing the vision that you have, whatever that vision is. Or you're like taking the steps to it. You're feeling led to do these things. And if you're not, and if you're dealing with the first part where you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing, but then you're doing things that you hate doing and everything, and it's like you're becoming like intolerant of these things and everything, that's a good sign too that you're going to go straight to that purpose, right? It's all just steps to it. It's steps to these things. That's how God moves. So yeah, just know, whenever you think that you're not meant to be employed, this doesn't mean that you think you're too good to be employed, because you've tried to be, right? You didn't look at it as something that was below you. You just tried it. And every time you did it, you felt like you were just kind of like wasting your time in a way, probably. You probably thought that it was like, man, I don't even need to be doing this. I got something else I need to be doing, right? You probably tried it and tried it and tried it, and you're like, okay, maybe this isn't for me, right? Because any time that you do stay at a certain job, like if you specifically have a purpose from God, you stay at a certain job, in the back of your head, even though it's really in your spirit, you're going to have a feeling to where like, you feel like you need to be doing something else, right? You kind of feel like you're at that job, you're like wasting time. You're like, no, I need to be doing something else. Like I got something else I need to fulfill, right? And it's going to be there the whole time. It's going to bug you the whole time until you do it, because that's what leads you into that purpose. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But yeah, you're not tripping or anything. You're not egotistical or whatever. God makes some people one way and some people another way, right? Not everyone's made to work for somebody. Some people are made to create things. This is why there's been millions of people who've created different things, created businesses, created ministries, created whatever it is. There's tons of creators, right? Some people are creators and some people work, right? Some people work for the creators. It's just how life is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. If you're not subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. All right, God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.